I think the most important part to know about what we did today was that although I don't think we matched, or we really didn't match our team score from last year on the men's side, that the points that we scored came from a lot of different people, and so we really moved towards a team concept this year, and it was all about the team. And what you saw were some relays come out and score some points and do some things that they weren't supposed to do at the beginning of the year, and they did it for their teammates. Going into that 4x4, Ryan Boucher had just run a really hard 800 and he was worn out, and he looked at me and said, "I don't know if I can do it," and I was trying to talk him into it, and Michael DK came over and sat down next to him and said, "Hey buddy, we need you." And right after that, Ryan finished eating his little gel packet and got up and started making a move to do it, and then came back and he did it for his team, and he split 49.8 seconds, and after that hard 8, it was great. So I think I'm just thinking about what a team we've become and how proud I am of that, because that was a hard fought battle.
So some of the top performances, I mean, obviously DK, he placed today, got a medal today. Just talk about his freshman progression up to now and how he looked to you today.
I think the time was good and the place is great for Michael. The big thing for him was he overcame a mental hurdle today. He had struggled finishing when somebody was passing him or when he was behind. He had struggled finding that extra gear to move, and what we saw from him coming into the best last 100 meters he's run all year, in the 400 he fought, and so we saw him overcome a mental barrier, and that's the mental barrier he's going to have that he needed to overcome in order to do some better things like qualifying for the national championships. And you can't do that unless you have a little bit of fight at the end, and so seeing him do that, that was huge. We kind of hoped that he would be top 3, so for him to go out and be able to do that as a freshman and fight for that, that's huge. It was, when you bring in somebody and especially they sit out for a year as a redshirt, you don't know. It's a gamble a little bit what they're going to be able to do, and so we're super pleased to see Michael become the athlete that we hoped that he could be, and not only that, to become the team member that he thought that we just knew and hoped that he could be for us.
Who else kind of stood for you on the men's side of things today?
Jake Link. Not even supposed to make the finals in the 1500, much less go out and score a point. Yeah, he was surprising, I think, for sure. Just a tough kid. I think he's learned a lot about himself as well. He's learned how to race smart. Coach Mack has been working with him a ton on race strategy, and he's finally learning how to race smart. So he raced smart, he raced tough, and he picked up a point where we definitely weren't expecting it. The 4x1. What we needed from them was perfect handoffs, and they went out and they had perfect handoffs, and again, we weren't expecting a point in the 4x1, and we got a point. And so I think those are the surprising ones for me, and the ones that make it nice. Like I said, the team did it today.
And on the women's side, I know after I think it was Michaela and her fantastic race, it just seems like she wasn't supposed to be there, if I'm not mistaken. So just talk about her.
Yeah, Michaela went into the preliminary, and the way Michaela is, it's never about time. It's about just get out there and race, and we figured that early, that if you give her time like it, that's just not the way to go. And so you just tell her, hey, go out there and compete. And she went out and she competed, and she actually in the preliminary hit a time that was about another 1 second PR for her. She broke 59 seconds, and 58.59 I think was her time, and that's a huge step for a freshman that never ran under 60 seconds in high school. And so she did that, and then she came back in the final and really was the last qualifier, and yeah, we were hoping for a point, but just for her to be in that 9th place was a huge deal. So she not only did she run hard and raced again and tried real hard to get that point, she matched or actually ran faster than what was her personal best last week in California. So she ran in a 2 weeks time span, 3 personal best times, and then came back out and led off for our 4x4, and that's the growth, right? She realized, I'm really tired. That's a lot of 400s in just a few days, and so I think what you'll see from her is that she'll become that girl that can come back and run again another sub-60 second 400 to lead off a 4x4 team that we hope is going to move really quickly up towards that podium in the next couple of years.
Yeah, talk about that 4x4. I mean, it seemed like you were super happy with the teammates. Was kind of, I think it was Summer, right, that finished it, and they just kind of surrounded her. Like that type of stuff is just amazing to see. And they said she killed it. So just talk about that race there.
Right, so Michaela led off, like I said, and she did not run her best time probably of the year, but she had us in the mix and handed off to Bree Wellington, who was a high jumper and also a member of the basketball team, and we knew that Bree was fast and that she had some fight in her, and so she took it and chased down the girl in front of her and ran a 60-second split, which is very fast, especially she doesn't get to train, so that's just off pure guts and talent. And then it just told Jessie Chappa, like, fight for every inch. And she looked at me like with big saucer eyes and she said, okay, I got this. And she did it, and she went out and fought. And the same thing with Summer, just knowing that they went out there and ran probably their best times of the year because their teammates needed them to. Their teammates had fought to get them there, and so everybody was just. It's a team. It's a team finally, and we were very pleased. Their time was 4:10, and coming into the year, I don't know that I would tell you that I thought we were going to run 4:10 at the conference championship. So that was super fun, and you're right. They surround each other and love each other, and really do care for one another, and that's a beautiful thing to see.